Folks, welcome to SpeedBump. It's time for Armored Core 1 on the PlayStation 1. We're going to go for 45 minutes and see who does the best in terms of clearing missions, and credits will be the score breaker for that. A new game, no Human Plus or any of that nonsense. I'll talk about that a bit once we get in, but that's something that Armored Core fans might know about. That's not going to be a thing here. They don't have time to turn it on. I'm ready whenever you are, off the blues.
All right, let me give them the word.
That's right, the new Armored Core is coming out real soon.
One racers are not ready.
Which racer's that? There you go.
There we go.
We got a 10-second countdown on Armored Core. This game starts with a little battle with like one fella. So Armored Cores are these huge hulks like on the box art right there. And MTs are like the walking things from like Star Wars. Like they're kind of defenseless though. They're kind of just like AI driven. You have to beat one of those in a fight that they can't possibly lose. And then you will be a Raven, a mercenary. This is the only requirement to join their group. Pretty simple stuff. So I think everyone will get past that at least.
Now, I respect investing the time in naming your pilot. When you named your pilot, did you use a lot of Greek letters and Roman numerals, or?
In this game, when you go into Human Plus mode, it kind of hijacks your name, unfortunately.
That sucks.
Can't remember if you can change it later. I think you can with a cheat, but yeah, sure did. Our players have the worst rifle of all time and the lousiest missile launcher there is. They also have a sword that is pretty bad, but it's okay. It's better than those weapons, but it is a sword, so you know you have to be pretty close. Okami's already killed the MT and has become a Raven. Chocolate Dave has done it as well. The missile launcher requires you to put them inside that little viewer box that you see there, and it will lock on, and then you fire it after it's locked on. That's how it works. And the rifle will just fire at the enemy pretty directly if they're locked on. You don't really, like, I don't know, dumb fire, is that what it's called, where you don't have targeting? You don't do any of that in this, really, not with those weapons.
It doesn't even have the feature?
Some weapons do, not those.
The test is over.
Gotcha.
From this moment on, you are a Raven.
Our players have all beaten the tutorial except for Patty, who's working on it.
From this moment on, you are a Raven.
So they have jump jets. You can fly or dash in any direction. That's what the energy bar is for. It also is shared with energy weapons if they switch to those, which I kind of recommended because in this game you pay for the ammo you use, but energy weapons don't do that. They just need recharged at home. You just plug in your mech. So you don't charge money for that. You pay for damages though, no matter what. So any damage they take mission wide, they will pay for. This game is...
At what point can they start upgrading their mech?
They immediately can. They have a bunch of money. You can sell at cost, and that's what Chocolate Dave is doing. They are seemingly familiar with this game enough to have an idea of what to do right away. Because you can sell at cost, you could theoretically switch your weapons out right away. You have enough money to get something okay. So in this game, you're kind of a mercenary. You just kind of... You work for a group called the Ravens, and you call yourself one. They give you missions. They kind of are like when you get a bounty on Twitch. They're just these guys who are just like, hey, would you like to do this mission and kill a bunch of dudes? They'll pay you, and we'll take a cut. And you can go against other Ravens and kill each other, and they don't care. They don't care at all about anything. They just give you missions and take a cut. They're the Patreon of mercenaries. And you're one of them now. And you have alternate endings depending on which missions you decide to clear and such. And people, I was talking about Human Plus. So Human Plus is when you lose enough money in this game, in this awful future where they're underground and there's no... Humanity's really on the ropes. You get cutscene for having like negative 50,000 where you get experimented on. Like they donate your body
Main system
because of
engaging combat mode.
a lack of money to science, and you wake up with new powers, and you can do that 5 times, and the game restarts each time, and you can ultimately have like free radar, you can fly while firing super weapons, and other huge advantages. But they won't be getting that because getting negative 250,000 is quite a lot of work. That would take probably the whole 45 minutes to do. We have alternate missions already. Chocolate Dave started with the bridge and bought the machine gun. A lot of waggling going on there. The machine gun is a very fast, obviously, weapon, but the ammo is going to cost a bit. Changed from the rifle. The sword is the energy weapon they all start with that does not cost anything to use. There's also hidden weapons in the stages, and I'm not going to talk about where they are, but if a player did happen to somehow miraculously find one without knowing about it in advance, good luck. It's worth like 40 or 50 grand though, because it's right out of the store.
Sure.
Part of the appeal of this game is the mech configuration is enormous. They have so many options for legs and energy. You could be fast or slow. You could be a hulking tank. You can get tank treads instead of legs. You can get spider legs. You can get reverse joints and be a really good jumper. And you can put almost any weapon you want onto that mech.
Now, a lot of games have a lot of customization options, but at the end of the day, you kind of decide this is the one best choice. Does this suffer from that, or is it really pretty freeform and you can do this any way you want to?
In the end game, I would recommend a pretty agile mech, because it gets pretty hard and you need to evade, but you could probably burn through it with anything you want if you're good enough or if you have the firepower. This game works pretty well with whatever you like. And another big thing that I mentioned in the directions I gave the players here, in case they hadn't played this before, the parts are at cost. You can buy a gun and be like, wow, that sucks, and then sell it back for 100% of what you bought it for. So you can just trade. The Ravens are giving you that store. Just do whatever you want. It's all yours. That gives you the ability to really configure these mechs. You can also come in here and paint your own emblem if you want, with a pixel editor.
I think that's probably pretty important for our players. I do hope that they discover that.
There's a lot of vertical levels in the end game and boss fights, which means you're fighting another mech who has as much health as you, probably roughly anywhere between 6,000 and 10,000. That number in the top left is the health. A lot of these starter missions are just the MTs. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. They're just, I don't know what that stands for exactly, but maybe it stands for like mindless truck or something. They're just walking.
Main system
they have like a pistol
mode.
and they walk around and they get blasted.
This is the guard. We've cornered the enemy as expected. We'll leave the rest up to you.
So here, Chocolate Dave has invested in a very powerful gun that runs out of bullets so fast that might be an issue for them. You can get ammo packs and such, but once they're out of bullets, and they've already used 100 on the mission they just started, they might be in trouble. And they're going to be paying for those bullets too, but that gun is super strong to make up for the fact that it is out of ammo already. You gotta be careful with it though, because if you run out of ammo and you're stuck with just your sword, it might be rough. Right now they're in the sewers hunting down some fellas.
Target of operation
Well, they cleared that instantly.
System switched to normal mode.
Our players are burning through these levels, though. I'm curious to see whether or not, making use of the machine gun early, just to clear levels, ends up being a penalty for later.
Well, the balance on that mission was like negative $500, so not great. You know, you'd like to make money when you do a mission, ideally. Did clear it fast
Sure,
though.
in a casual playthrough maybe, but in a race to see how many missions you can beat in
Main
45
system
minutes,
engaging
maybe that
combat
doesn't matter
mode.
so much.
Yeah, the fact that they go negative doesn't matter as long as they don't hit that 50k. If you hit that mark, you're gonna reset the game, and that's no good. But you could, I guess, get a gun you like and just not worry about your bill for a while. Get to the later missions where they start to really pay you the bucks. These first missions give you like 15 grand, but eventually it goes up to 50 or 60, which is way more than you're gonna get charged for ammo and health. Like, worst bill case is probably like 30. If you had like a big tank with 9,000 health and you spent all
That's
your
what I'm
rockets.
saying. This like 45-minute format really changes the strategy here, because in a casual playthrough, you'd feel really bummed if you were constantly going more and more negative. You would feel like you weren't making much ground. But if they only have 45 minutes, who cares about the bill?
Well, the bill would pay for itself eventually, because you can really get some bank. These starter missions just do not give you very much money, so that's why I recommend it to the new players. Energy weapons, there's no bill at all. It's like you get paid 18,000 and your bill is like whatever you took in damage, so 3 or 4,000 maybe.
Target of operation
Chocolate
cleared.
Dave has
System
a
switched
plan.
to normal mode.
They played this recently, they said, and they have basically they've given up their sword. They have one weapon. It's both of their arms is a cannon, and they're Gatling gunning, and that's it. Once they're out of bullets, they gotta bail the mission, and they'll pay for the bullets. Once they bail the mission, they'll just bail, not finish the mission, and be charged repair bill and bullets, and that would be really bad. They gotta watch the bullets big time. So that's a little bit of a dangerous strategy they're doing.
Well,
But
Dave just sold his legs.
you have to have legs, so they're gonna have to replace it with something, but they must have a plan. $33,000 in the bank. Looks like they're going for... They're looking at reverse joints, which helps you jump higher. Now they're on the regular tanky legs. You can pull up a stat screen to see what's different about these. The default bipedal legs are just like standard speed. If they look chunky, big chungus legs, they are. And if they look skinny, they're very fast and they can't carry a lot of weight, which means no big weapons on you. You can have a weapon on each shoulder and a gun in your hand and a sword on your other hand, or both your arms can be laser guns. Both your shoulders can be laser guns. All of that is weight that you have to worry about, aside from defense, which also is obviously a heavy burden. If they get like tank treads, the tank can carry an absolute
system
ton of stuff,
engaging
but it can't
combat
really
mode.
fly. Reverse joints let you jump really high, and it's a little awkward to move, but you're pretty fast. You also have radar, which will help clear the missions, so that's a concern. I don't think anyone's pulled the map open yet, but the map is a really nice 3D map that you can spin and rotate and zoom in on. Some of these missions are ridiculous, big 3D maze kind of things, and the map is essential for those, but I don't know that we'll get to any of those today. We're already 15 minutes deep in this. So Dave has already cleared maybe 10 missions, I feel like. Probably 5, but yeah. Some of these missions are just... There's 8 tanks in a street. Can you just blow them up?
System
Okay.
switched to normal mode.
Which the answer is yes, you definitely can.
Yeah, you can't really lose that one. A couple of the harder ones are a little bit dangerous this early on, which is like deal with a bunch of dudes in the subway that are rebelling against the city.
I guess that explains why players were asking about abandoning missions. I mean, you might get a mission that you just know is going to take forever, and it might be better to just bail on it and move on to the next one.
Yeah. Penalty's a little steep, but not too bad.
Main system
'cause
engaging
10,000
combat
just
mode.
isn't that much money right now. The mission Dave's on is a little scary, but I think they're equipped for it now. It's a platform that is surrounded by drones, and they're shooting missiles at you the whole time. It's really annoying. It's like you're fighting a hive of hornets. One of the problems with this game that probably doesn't exist in the modern ones is the turn speed and camera and just things like that. It's It's a little tough
Target of
sometimes.
operation cleared. System switched to normal mode.
But yeah, this game is getting a new one real soon. Real soon. Like maybe we'll be playing it in a week or two here.
Maybe you will be.
It's on the PC. Not on your games
You gonna
list.
play it day one?
I might. But I haven't played any of the other ones. I need to get into those.
Yeah, I've never played an Armored Core game. It looks more. I didn't really know what Armored Core was. I never really looked into it, and this definitely looks more interesting than I thought. But yeah, it probably won't be a day one buy for me, but might compel me to kind of look into the series a little bit.
I always thought it was like MechWarrior Turbo. But it's not really anything like that at all, because that's such that game is the same idea, but it's so slow that it's almost a tactics game. You really are slow in that game, and you're aiming at parts and stuff, trying to destroy them, things like that.
Right.
This game is high speed, big time, all over the place, and you're just wearing the enemy down as much as you can.
It's funny that the game about a giant robot, it seems like you're faster in this than you are in Dark Souls.
You definitely are. You are
Main
absolutely
system
boosting all over the
engaging
place.
combat mode.
Our players aren't doing a whole lot of it, but there, Chocolate Davis, you can fly around like this, and there is PvP and stuff in Armored Core, and there's boss fights that are that too, and also they have the spider legs, so you can see what that does. That's a
It's like
pretty...
Dave's got a lot of extra legs going on there, more than the average person would need.
Yeah, it's hard to fly. They're heavy, but they can hold a lot of weight, and they can just naturally move pretty fast. So that's the advantages of the 4-leg build.
Target of operation cleared. System
It's a good
switched
build.
to
It lasts a
normal
long
mode.
time.
I think he's on energy weapons now too, which would lower his costs per stage.
Looks like Gatling gun still, which is negative 7,000
Okay.
balance. Mm.
It looked like purple shot, so I kind of assumed it was an energy weapon.
Dark Souls is actually a mission in this game. It's just a mission called Dark Souls. And there's like
Can't believe they ripped off Armored Core.
that big moon sword that's in all those games is also in here.
Moonlight Greatsword?
Yeah, that's in here as a sidearm you can get for your mech. It's the
Unbelievable.
best sword there is. And there's Patches. I don't think he's in this one. He's in 2.
Main
Okay, so
system
Okami is in a
engaging
mission where your
combat
goal is to
mode.
not blow up all the reactors, and he blew up all the reactors. So
Yeah, it looks like he blew up all the reactors there.
Just because you're a raven.
that is gonna be coming out of the check. And just put that on the bill. And also the damage they took from blowing up is also gonna be on the bill. So they just lost 30 grand probably.
That's a lot of money.
They're still blowing up more reactors, it looks like. Oh! I don't think they realize that is a thing. The condition... I mean, the mission description definitely covered it, but... it might not have been super obvious to someone who hasn't played a game that can punish you like this before. Your goal at the end of the day is to get rich. Being a mercenary. So you need to follow the mission objectives to do that.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like a good way to get rich.
Yeah, this is like the Cowboy Bebop life, where you just, you made a bunch of money, but you blew up a shop, and you have to give them all the cash. On the other hand, very fast way to finish the mission, just blow up the place you're supposed to
Target of
clean.
operation cleared. System switched to normal
You
mode.
cleaned it.
Yeah, I feel like if I were hastily reading the mission briefing and it mentioned something about reactors, I might just sort of wave it off and say, yeah, blow them up, got it.
Here comes the bill. Let's see what it is. 10K paid. Oh, negative 12,000 for the deduction. Hate to see it, but the mission is done. Heck, it might be worth doing it that way.
I was about to say, it was done pretty quickly, so it might not have been that big of a deal.
Tarragon is at 100 health, which is practically nothing, and they're trying to finish off this last guy. Oh!
Main system engaging combat mode.
So, canonically, I guess that the enemy, no matter how bloodthirsty the fight is and all that, they see this Raven blow up and their mech turns off, and they just let them go because they're not really your enemy. You're just allowed to leave with your crappy little mech all destroyed. You're no longer a threat. You're no longer interested in the mission.
You can just go.
Get out of here. Yeah, so there are really heavy weapons that go on your shoulders, like a grenade launcher that fires. I know grenade launcher doesn't sound like a super impressive in-game weapon, but this one blows up the grenade before it even shoots it, so it shoots this fireball in the sky at you, as big as a big fire orb, basically, like a Dragon Ball Z blast is coming at you. You have to stand still to fire that unless you're human plus or on tank treads. So that's one of the human plus advantages, and the enemy AI Ravens have human plus, and you can tell because they're cheating with it. They're doing that. They're flying around firing these orbs. So human plus is a pretty big thing, and you can carry your save from Armored Core 1 to, well, there's 3 PlayStation 1 games, and you can just save your game at the end of Armored Core 1 and load it into Armored Core 1 sequel. Do it again, have human plus and all that, and all your money. And then on the third one, you can do it again. So that's pretty nice. You get this little campaign across 3 games.
It's a cool idea, but unless it scales appropriately, it feels like you'd just be overpowered for the next 2.
You just have a lot more money to work with.
Yeah, but if you walk in the door already having, like, the best mech you could produce...
There's always new stuff, but yeah, the money will help you out a lot. The stuff you can get by selling your parts and all that. There's also an arena in the second one a little bit, but in the third one especially. It came in 2 discs in one of those big PlayStation binders.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just go in and fight a mech for like prize money on TV. You can just duel, and it's got like a bunch of different cameras and such. Pretty good. I feel like Master Arena, the third one, is a pretty hard game, even if you do that. Another player has destroyed the entire facility. That's just a thing that's going to happen every time, I guess. What a cool mission. That mission to me is probably the equivalent of that boss from La Milana for you.
Is that you, Raven? The target is
You're
in this
supposed to go in there with a little pea shooter gun and pick off these little termite robots carefully, surgically. But everyone is going in here blasting, and everything blows up.
As the enemy leader's MT.
So I just started blasting.
24 bullets, and at the boss, are they gonna have enough ammo? Oh yeah. They're completely
Target
empty.
operation
They spent
cleared.
every bullet.
System switched to normal mode.
Yeah, having a bunch of money is... It's not a game-breaking thing, there's still a game to play, but you get the flexibility of designing your own mech, which is very nice. It would be very, very hard, I think, to do Masters of Arena, the third one, without that save transfer. It really does feel like they intended for you to do it.
Right.
But it probably could be done.
Main system engaging combat mode.
Main system.
You get different voices based on what helmet you pick.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is there no limit to what you can customize in this game?
You can paint your mech, which no one's done. They're all green boys. Unbelievable.
Embarrassing.
You could just instantly apply a tiger skin or something to your mech.
Everyone
nice,
knows that if your mech is pink, it's stronger.
yeah, you can get a nice pink with cyan lines on it. Candy cane. So far, it looks like everybody's customized their mech except for the two on the right. Yeah, 50% customization. Chocolate Dave is going...
As in, you don't think either of the two of them have changed anything about their mech?
I don't think so. And Chocolate Dave is going berserk and changing their mech almost every battle. And really clearing the heck out of these missions. They really have a lot of money to work with now. This mission is full of little fellas that are... I think they might be worth money if you blow them up, but ideally you would just skip most of them. There are so many. And Dave's got to work with an ammo limit, a big one. So they probably don't want to engage these guys if they can help it, but they're so annoying. Their pulse rifle stops your movement. This game has something like 50 missions in it. You can't do them all in one run. You do get like a New Game Plus thing going on, where you can just pick missions and clear them, but there are basically companies control the world. It's an apocalypse scenario where like Microsoft and Apple are the only two things that exist. There's no government, and they are fighting each other in a war, and you get to pick which of those corporations you like better. I think in this game the story is one of them is working on like
Target of
Human
operation
Plus
cleared.
and messing with humans
System
and
switched
DNA
to
changing
normal
and stuff, and the other one is like mechanical. They're trying to build the perfect AI. They want this ultimate robot machine. So you get to pick which one of those two monsters you like.
Gosh, so much choice.
Yeah. This is by the guys who built the zombie game, so you know. Oh, that was a close one, but Okami did it with 200 health left. I can't stress enough how small that number is. That's such a low number. They didn't actually get nothing from that mission. They got paid in parts, which they can sell. It's kind of a tricky thing because you see this negative 18,000 bill and you think it's over, but the part they got will pay for that. And that's if they don't want to use it. Of course, it matters what you get hit by. You have energy resistance and bullet resistance and such, but 200 damage, that's probably a couple shots from just about anything. A machine gun would chip you down probably 10 or 15 health at a time.
Main system engaging combat mode.
Tarragana's beat that mission. The mission that Okami is on is kind of fun. You have to chase this drone as it runs through a parking lot. You will be charged $200 for every civilian car you destroy. Try not to blow up people's rides. It is running.
So it's pretty hard not to end up shooting at least a handful of cars.
Yeah, Okami's finally realized that it has gone downstairs. Gotta use those boosts and catch that.
This is the guard. The bottom floors for chrome use only.
He's slippery. Look at him.
We're counting on you.
Chocolate Dave is on the same mission, just started it. The person hiring you for this mission does not want this spy robot to get to the bottom floor because they will start getting company secrets. They will be very mad. If you let that happen, they will not pay you. Chocolate Dave has already killed the thing.
Target of operation cleared. System switched to normal mode.
You can block it. You can just sit in front of the exit. It cannot get down that way.
I mean, that's probably the ideal way to do it then.
Okami has blocked it and stabbed it to death.
Target achieved.
That's a big pay. And then $1,400 worth of cars destroyed. Not too bad. There's a mission on Dave's screen that says attack the urban center, which just goes to, again, not a very friendly game in terms of who you are and what you do. You're just attacking a city. And you get paid for the damage you do. And I think that one of the other Ravens comes to stop you from doing that. And you can fight them. So that's what Dave's going to do now. It looks like you get paid for destroying as much as possible.
System,
it's a city that has people
mode.
from the other company in it, I guess. And they just want you to cause havoc. Because that's the kind of people the company is. I think you can take the other side of this mission and defend the city, but maybe that's a different game. But now, Dave is just running over the cars on purpose. Property damage was worth bucks. They just want this to be as expensive as possible.
Suffer.
There's an intimidating top 10 Ravens ranking, and you can look at these monsters with their super good loadouts, and you get a little backstory for them too, like a whole profile on what they like.
You, in the AC, surrender immediately.
One of them is like, they really like the number 11.
We will attack without mercy.
No, they really like the number 1, but they don't want to be number 1 because 11 has one more 1 in it, so they always intentionally lose if they get below 10. But anyway, I think the number 2 Raven out of the whole top 10 shows up here, and you maybe had looked at that before and are just like, oh, just, oh no. And they come in with some pretty good freaking weaponry, but they are a light mech, so they could be taken out just as easily as they come in, if you can catch them. Yeah, what's your mech backstory? Some guys just like frogs. They design a mech around their frog, and it's just a jumping mech. All they do is jump up and down and shoot weird frog missiles. It's all about the customization.
I would get the ability to fly, and I would just... I'm afraid of the ground. I never want to touch it.
Enemy ranking AC, identified as Valkyrie.
1 minute left. Here she comes. Somebody called Raven HQ and asked for support fire about this jerk who's downtown just doing damage. And they are bombing the absolute crap out of Dave. This might be Dave's first death.
Oh no.
They flew up in the sky. Oh.
Dave just tried to piece out of there.
Halting combat and returning to the nest.
No pay. What a scam. They ought to pay you for the damage you still did. She just took to the skies and dropped bombs down. And then you get a letter in the email. You can answer to hear about how you did. There's a train under attack. Defend the train. It's a lot of fun to just read the profiles of the mechs. There are hundreds of them across
We've
this
reached
game.
the fuel depot. Dropping AC.
Are they all pretty detailed, or is it...
No, they're not. That's part of what's funny about them. You just get like a weird looking mech with like grasshopper legs, and it's just like, this guy studies insects. He loves them. And that's all you get. It's just like this super vague thing. In this game, the number 1 dude, who they really like theme around and just can't get enough of, his name is Hustler1, and he's got a 9-ball for symbol, and he named his mech 9-ball. And he really likes pool. And that's that's all you know about him. And he shows up, and he's just pure wickedness. He's so hard to kill.
This is Boulder. We're almost at the destination.
Enemy
has
AC
exploded.
approaching. Number of ACs, 1.
There are 12 minutes left in our race here. Oh, we have another match. Some mech is coming to destroy the train that Dave is defending.
It's a jerk move.
And they get support fire from the enemies that you were already fighting, so it's really like 10 against 1 here, and the mech is very dangerous. the AC. But he has destroyed it already. Now I just gotta clean up. Yeah, you can look at their profile to just see what kind of mech they are, get a gist of how they fight, maybe, because it sometimes tells you this guy likes to crush newbies, and he's just got big firepower, no skill, so he just kind of walks around, doesn't really dodge, fires big shots at you that never hits, because you can bring a light mech to the fight. You can just see that and counter him. He will not change his build because he is set in his ways. Alright, we're seeing the generator mission with Patty. And when you walk in there, the game does say, hey, don't hit generators.
Everyone missed that warning. The thing, though, is that I think Okami might have gotten out of there faster, so maybe you should ignore that warning.
It's a really high pay mission if you can pull it off, but do they want money or a fast
Operation
clear?
cleared.
That's the question.
System switched to normal mode.
So far, Patty is doing it correctly. The first person I've seen do it properly. Not blowing up the generators. At least in room 1, there are 3 rooms. And the negative 12,000 that we saw twice at least is they blew every single one of them up. Every single one in all 3 rooms. Ten minutes left. Yeah, limited ammo is a problem, especially early game when you don't have a back weapon really. No one really has invested in a back weapon. I think Dave just bought one, but you start with, like I said, the worst missiles. They're slow. They're called small missiles. You only fire 1. Later on, you can get 6 of those kind of missiles to fire at once.
The test MT
Like, it's
you'll
just
fight
6 times
is
better.
completely automated. There's no need to be timid. Give it all you've got.
It's hard to use them up
Main
close.
system engaging combat mode.
You do have your sword at all
We have
times,
some
unless you get rid of
excellent
it.
Data. We'll put it to good use in the future.
That is
Thank
your
you
only,
for your
like,
help.
non-ammo weapon.
Target of operation cleared. System switched to normal mode.
Okami's in that mission where killing the enemies is frustration, and they are trying their best to kill the enemies, but they might have to start running for it soon. I think this is a rescue mission. Like, a couple of researchers went down into this old lab and got swarmed by robots, and they want you to, like, escort them out. So your goal is to just find the scientists. So killing the robots is, they'll pay you for it, I think, but it's not the goal. You could destroy every single one of them and still not have won. Yeah, I think it's Chrome. They're trying to build this perfect robot, and so they are studying you. They hired you to go smash it.
Right.
And it instantly blew up, and they're like, nice. They're just watching you and trying to get data from you. You're feeding the AI with your contract. And they just keep giving you a better and better AI
Main
to fight.
system engaging combat
And then at the end of the
mode.
game, I'm pretty sure that you were dealing with those nonsense things that you helped build. So thanks.
You said you've never played any of these games?
I've never played the PS2 ones.
Jamming confirmed.
Okay,
Radar
gotcha.
jam.
I played these first 3. I love these 3. These were my PlayStation jams. I'm due to play Armored Core 2. It's on my patrons list. I just haven't gotten my console set up. And I imagine that it is quite an improvement in terms of what they could do with this system. PlayStation 1 being what it is.
Okami's really just trying to muscle his way through this room.
Yeah. They're out of machine guns. And small
Gotcha.
missiles are going to be really hard to kill with, and I think the end is over there, and they maybe know that. It's hard to tell. In a lab like this, it's all gray and grim, but I think it might be, yeah. He's being told that that is the exit. If they can just get through the fellas down here.
He's gonna pay a bunch in repair bill though.
If they can push the button, they've done it. 900. It's gonna be close. Oh, they're getting shot by the ones they skipped. Oh no.
What?
They did it. Stabbed the
Oh
box.
my god.
With 200 health left. Made it. That's one mission done. Look at that special edition for killing all those fellas. Fighting to the death. Almost paid for the ammo loss. So Dave's in the inverse of that mission where you have to destroy all the tubes and stuff. And you have to watch out because you'll blow up. It hurts a lot. But the goal of this one is to actually find them all, and they're kind of hidden in rude places. These weird rusty tanks. There are 5 minutes left before we have to tell the players to bail their missions and check the score. I think the other company designs some kind of like biomechanoid ants, which are just huge,
Enemy
as big as
MTs
cars, and
identified as
reproduce on
guards.
their own and like are just disgusting. They built the Zerg almost is what they did, and they it's just they're seizing cities, and you have to deal with those. So these are the problems you create depending on which company you decide. Like you have a wildly different game depending on which company has won. Would you rather fight robots or bio monsters?
Is neither an option?
You gotta make money somehow.
You gotta fight. You gotta fight something.
Hey, a buck is a buck. A mission like Dave's could eat a lot of time just because they're gonna get lost finding the last tank. You have to get every single one.
Enemy MTs identified as guards.
Love the soothing jams of this alarm. Now these games famously have good soundtracks, just like some kind of electric rock jams, cool music. Always a good listen. When they do play music, when they feel like it.
Is it just infrequent when it plays music?
Yeah, usually during big events it plays some music.
Right, like high intensity levels rather than this skulking around a warehouse or something.
Yeah, you know if the music is playing that some big fight is happening usually.
So you hear that guitar, you know you're about to die.
Dave's looking for the last ones. Doesn't really have the ammo to deal with the guards. 3 minutes left before they can't get credit for this mission. It looks like Patty's strategy was to save up and buy a really good energy weapon, the pulse rifle, to start. Not a bad choice at all. 200 bullets, pretty
Destruction
good
of all
damage.
targets
3
confirmed.
bullets when you shoot it. It
Raven,
uses a very
that's
small
enough.
amount of energy.
Go back now.
It's just this tiny little pistol thing. And Tarragon has upgraded to, I think, what is the best, maybe best machine gun or second best? I think the best one is maybe the one Akami has, 500 bullets.
Target of operation cleared. System switched to normal mode.
Dave managed to finish the mission, Tarragon did not. They were on the same mission. That's the tricky part of measuring this. I'm glad there's a scoreboard because they could be doing these in any order and have different missions based on what they've done up till now.
Right.
Like if you help attack the rebels, there's a mission later to attack their leader. But the rebels were hired by one of the companies, so if you don't, then that company gets a little stronger and their missions start to show up more. In this game, it's only the 2 companies. I think they expand on it later. There's more than 2, but they're all grim. They're all bad news.
We have reached the target. The main core will arrive in 6 minutes.
Well, that's Armored Core.
Find the entrance before
What'd you
then.
think?
I'm surprised. Most of the time these sort of mech fighting games don't really do much for me, but this one seems more compelling than I thought. I'm probably gonna have to put Armored Core on my list. Unfortunately, that means I have like 30 games to play then.
Yeah, this is the first of maybe 8 of these games. Like, they've had a lot of time to improve on this. And they're about to release another one, so who knows what wonders of customization and speed you have in the new one.
Door system destroyed.
I haven't spoiled anything on it.
It seems at a glance, though, that you could probably power through some of these games. Like, they don't seem like, unless you want to go through and try out all the customizations and do every little thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like they would take too long to beat each one individually, unless they get worse.
Yeah, I bet this one could be beaten in
Target
5 hours
operation
fresh.
clear.
5 to 10 hours.
System
Sounds
switched
right.
to normal mode.
100% clear. We have 30 seconds left. Our players can go ahead if they are not in a mission, just go to their stats screen. They're not going to finish anything else in that time. Looks like Okami's cleared 10.
Go ahead and call time for them.
The only one in a mission is Patty, and they maybe can clear it in time, but it's going to be close. They could. They have 10 seconds to get one more mission done. Let's see if they pull it off. With that pulse rifle, probably. Oh, they got it. I think I'm going to give them that one.
All right.
So as soon as they get out into the menu, their deviation there is like less than a load time, so I'm going to give them that one. Terragon with 11 and 2 failures. Okami with 10 and 3. That failure made the difference. And yeah, you can see the overall percent clear too. Dave, surprisingly, with only 14 and 1 after cruising through. They did a lot of customization, and Patty has 8.
That was remarkably close, and everyone was doing really well. I bet if Dave had kind of stuck to a loadout he really liked rather than doing a lot of buying and selling, he might have gotten one more done.
Yeah. They did blow up on Lost Space Valkyrie on one of the missions. That was nearly over. They just had to survive. Killing her is optional. I don't know if you even get paid for taking her out. You probably do get extra money because that's more damage that you did, but yeah, that was cool. Nice work, everybody.
Great race.
Thanks for joining me out the Blues.
Of course. Thanks for the race, Mike.
Glad I could convince you Armored Core is decent.
I'm putting it on my backlog right now.
I'll let you know what I think of the new one, but am I gonna play one of the ones in between that before then? We'll see. I think Armored Core 2 I'm gonna start this week, just fresh. I've never seen any of it, and I know that the newer ones on the PS4 and such are a little different, but I'm not sure how. So I'm curious. Hey, see you later, everybody.